I see a lot of you are tired. I saw Ankur taking 5 yawns in last 2 minutes. So I know there has been a lot of quality information overload, but just bear with me for 5 minutes. Also, I would like you to be really attentive during the talk because I won't be sharing the deck later. It's just a 5 minute talk. So, why rebellion, you ask? Isn't research like UX research as a job by default rebelling? Like Shrikant mentioned, we are rebelling against time as a job role. It's very unconventional, unstable kind of thing. We are rebelling against assumptions, systems that are inherently designed to think about money first, think about human plus money, might as well human first. Hence, by choice or by fate, we all are rebels here. Just give me a second, this is not working. Okay. So, a lot of you asked me earlier why a 5 minute talk? Because that is the amount of time we usually get in a boardroom meeting where important people are sitting, and maybe even less at times. So, hence, I would try to cover an overview in 5 minutes, and we can go in depth later because obviously the rabbit hole is deeper. Here, I'm just trying to cover a few important pointers. But first question, how do we even get to the boardroom where important people are? You invite yourself in the smaller rooms first. Every new team organization that I have joined in, I have mostly joined as a first person in the research. And it has been really difficult to find a seat or someone pulling a seat for you. So you invite yourself in. There is a meeting with data person. You think you're curious about it. You invite yourself, can I join? There is a meeting with a collaborator. They're presenting something. They're finalizing something. Anywhere decisions are being taken, where stakeholders are, you are trying to understand them. So you invite yourself. You have to be a little shameless, but it really helps. Why are the controls working sometimes this way and sometimes that way? Okay. So, why, you ask me, why do I invite myself to multiple rooms? Some selectiveness is there, like you're trying to make decisions, but it had really helped me understand who am I going to work with, who my stakeholders are, what are their ways of working, priorities, why do they function in a way they are going to function, what are their concerns, priorities, so I'm more aligned with them. It has really given me more perspective on the product itself because you learn from multiple teams, you get to understand the product deeper. But most importantly, it has given me a space where I can add or at least offer the value. I can propose what I'm capable of doing, because the major problem with low UX maturity environments are that they do not understand how to utilize research. So unless and until you go there, you tell them how you can be of your full potential, it's highly unlikely that they'll be able to assign you something that shows or unlock your full potential. Just to give a small example why being in rooms are important, there was one cross-functional meeting that was happening where one of the support member mentioned that they had a conversation with one of the subscribers who was mentioning their pain point during the player journey. And they mentioned that the person who was on call wasn't actually the person who had subscribed. So basically the son has subscribed for the mother, and this conversation was going on. You would think, okay, must have rang well for everyone. I had this question, there would be more people in our data set like this, because we were going by data for seeing what personas we are going to look into, what are the age groups. I did some secondary, found out substantial number of people are lying in that cohort, proposed a basic smaller usability study to see if we are actually catering to that users. And then we did a very minor changes with respect to that, and it actually showed us improvement. So basically just one overheard comment led us changing our whole persona strategy, and from there on we had actually catered to those users because numbers were lying to us. That is the power of being in the room. I am sure many of you would have such examples where you would have figured out a problem when you are hearing a conversation. So once you are in this room, you start noticing patterns. Of course you propose, but everyone does not respond in the same way. There are 3 different kind of stakeholders I have identified, and I'll try to map it for you in the easiest way how you can go about it. So the first one is the skeptic. I think all of us know a person in our organization who is very, very critical on timelines, want everything done in 2 minutes, or they only trust numbers. They always question your methods. Why are you doing this? This is going to slow things down. That is particularly that person. There's another kind of people you deal with. They are kind of validation seeker. They are safety seeker. They do rely on data, but they are little hesitant to take action on it. So they always want 100% surety from you, and hence you get stuck in a loop of doing one study after another for the same thing. And there is one open collaborator, a person you'll notice in meeting who is like open to perspective, what other people are saying, trying to map according to their ideas, thinking of solutions that way, not that rigid in their approach, basically. So when you are joining new, there might be a possibility you are given projects with any of the one, but try not to take it personally when you are dealing with hard people, and focus on the open collaborator first, because those are the people who are going to take your names in another rooms once you have proved them something. This is a shorter cheat sheet. I'll share the detailed one later. But basically, once you have worked with the open collaborator, they would go in another rooms and take your names wherever necessary. This is going to open more opportunities for you. Also, once you have done a study and proven yourself, you have evidence to deal with the second one, where you can then more confidently establish a decision line where you are going to close the report. This one you are going to mostly understand in later stages. This persona is difficult to identify, but you'll start recognizing once they ask for repeated numbers, similar questions, or one question after the another. If they are not able to decide on one concrete thing, very hesitant to try new things. But the skeptic one, how do you deal with them? They are not coming into presentations. They are not interested in going through your decks. What do you do? These people are majorly, their pain points are they have very less time. They do not have enough trust in the methods. So you go very brief with them, like very brief. Whatever is important to them, you start with that. Curiosity is something which has really worked for me for this persona. Earlier, I used to share decks very upfront, even like before meetings. What I do usually here is now, I just give a sneak into the most important insights that are there. And once they have that sneak, if I would have shared the deck, they would skim through it, and mostly by the first 2 pages of methodologies, they would be bored and they would surrender the deck for sure. I have seen this. But when I just give a peek into the insight section, they have questions. How did you come up onto this? What was the thing you used? How many people were this? Creates a conversation, and then you eventually get them into the room, present the insights in detail, tell them, have those conversations. But yes, curiosity sometimes helps for certain people a lot. Another main pain point that this persona faces is the methodology debate. Sometimes the questions are more around methods, and the debate is more around methods than the outcome itself. What has really helped me with these kind of debate is showing them the overview of what kind of outcome you are going to get. Like Usri also mentioned in her talk, whether you are trying to answer like how many people are facing certain problem you already know, or are you trying to understand what are the problems people facing. There might be cases where both are involved, but what should be the sequence of things? So this usually shifts the conversation into what needs to be done first and then led to another, rather than just having a debate around methodologies. And just one very last, but I think heard a lot, but very important thing, tracking your insights and tracking the outcomes of your insights. Like Jayesh sir also mentioned in the starting that there are a lot of solutions that we give out, but we need to prove what our solutions are doing. Very small example again, in a very detailed out exploratory deck, we had an insight where we wanted to change the copy on the CTA. Very small thing, but it eventually led to 20% app downloads, which was a huge number. This alone gives like the overall ROI for the complete research for me. No one flagged it to me, no one came and told me this upfront, but if I haven't had traced back to that data, I would have never known. And because I am essentially my own PR in the company, if I am the only researcher working, I do not have much evidence to prove to the skeptic persona that what is the value I am bringing onto the table. So yes, very important, you have to be your own cheerleader, you have to track, this is non-negotiable. And just at the end, it's a long game. I know difficult stakeholders do not convert in one meeting. You have to be consistent, and sometimes consistency works more than intensity. We are all working on our craft here. We have seen multiple examples that we are continuously developing our craft. but it is a compounding effect, and sometimes nudging, being annoying does help us. So yes, go be annoying in the best way possible. Thank you. Yeah, you can actually scan this and download and use. There's a small worksheet that you can map the personas. You see curiosity as a distribution strategy.
Any questions? We can take one or two questions. Okay, Shrikant has one question. So Shrikant, you stole away my line. I was going to say that, yeah, that was very insightful, and I'm sure it would help new people. I mean, if AI is one challenge that we have to grapple with, the meeting rooms and the people in the meeting rooms is the other challenge we have to grapple with. And I think the framework that you suggested and the strategies you suggested, and it just gives us a way to, and a researcher's mindset, persona as a tool. So fantastic. I would now invite Dr. Tapsi to pass on the token of appreciation to Anushi.